Okay, I think I'm going to start anyway. Hi, I am Teresa Deely, or known online as Euphoriafish, and this is my Twitch channel, so welcome. I am repeating what I said last night, so if you saw me go live last night, this topic is the same. I thought that Mother's Day was a good time to launch my channel properly and maybe talk a little bit about what parenting means to me and my thoughts on being a creative parent. I think parenting first and foremost is the balance between being other-oriented and sacrificing versus self-absorbed. And I mean, I nearly forgot about Mother's Day. I love my mom and I'm thinking about her often, but I don't look at calendars very often. I did have a present ready and we did spend some time together. But too often she picks up the slack and is just in support of me. The good thing about my family is that there always is that support to come home to if say the Mother 6000 from Alien was attacking me. I could probably be glad that I'm a hikikomori on Earth and have a family that'll still love me even if this whole enterprise crashes down to Earth. When everything's on fire, I can count on my parents to not put personal or corporate profit over human rights to the point that all other priorities are rescinded. I mean, you grow up with good values like truth and honesty and creativity and science, and then you get out in the world and you find some other families have maybe been raised to value secrecy, unclouded by conscience, remorse, or delusions of morality. And I just live in lucky, interesting times, and I'm so glad that I can have, say, a Twitch channel for a refuge from all the chaos out there, and maybe a place to build support. So as to what I do, I'm a screenwriter, actor, director, producer, and an AD in the indie film circuit in the Middle Coast, which is roughly from, say, Minneapolis, St. Paul down to Austin, but I'm on the river in between. I currently have 2 short films in production and post-production. I wrote a short called Lack of Consent Has No Dress Code last year. It is a monologue to help survivors of sexual violence. We're set to film that. We almost filmed it last fall, but the schedule didn't quite get met for all productions that were going on that day. Instead, what we got shot was my other short film, House, which is a monologue about a character selling a haunted house. Like, it's her family's estate, and she's selling it, but the family goes to confront her and tell her that they want it to stay in the family. And she has a responsibility that she is disappointing them with respect to handling that responsibility. And let's see. As I'm launching on Mother's Day, I do want to say that everything I make on some level, especially Lack of Consent, is on some level for my mom, who is someone who is so passionate about causes and justice, but is too shy to get out there and talk to you about them much. An endless giving tree who teaches me to speak truth for forwarding the solutions to problems. Like, we always know the answers around here, we just don't always, like, relay them to anyone who's actually going to do anything with the information. And it's such a value in my family to teach. We are driven to help children and animals. Like, if children are too scary, we always have, like, so many animals around here. So I taught the cat. I'm mostly good at teaching my cat. I miss my best student. Shadow was 20 years old when she passed in January, and the remaining 3 cats don't seem to want the lesson as much. But we still have like 9 animals: a dog, 3 cats, 2 lizards, 2 parakeets. We're short on fish right now, but we have a turtle. And I've just been taught, take care of things, nurture all the time. I've been set up to be this great nurturer that is at odds with how the rest of the world sees a disabled person. I will say that I do have a form of muscular dystrophy. And so when I get out in the world and try to make a sacrifice or present an important lesson that's important to my mom, sometimes people wonder why I'm there at all and are afraid that I might say something, so that they might have to feel bad for judging the disabled person. And I don't want to go on at length about disability on this stream. I want to get to riffing a video game shortly. And plans for tonight are to play some Toejam Earl and talk over it. But the one thing about disability is, assume there's something else going on here when you meet me, please. What I do for other people tends to be record keeping and support via writing data or delivering lines. It's not sitting in a chair silent. And with all this drive to teach, everyone always assumed I would be a parent, and I've reached this point where it's practically a complex for me because I've been taught you have to do something for other people. You can't just be a narcissist and like put on a Twitch show. You're supposed to be trying to get a job and then be asked about the disability in the interview, not get it, and go home and write something and stay alone in your room Robinson Crusoeing it for a decade and not get in conversations with people very often, but keep trying for that elusive day job. And being a hikikomori or a homebound person, sooner or later I wind up on Twitch and Twitter. But it could be a cozier space, and I'm glad to those of you who are joining me already. If you have a vote for what you'd like to see here, I do have a Discord channel where we can talk about that. See, my hashtag there is 0795. If you friend me, I will waitlist you. I'm trying to build a tone in the community, but I would like to let more people in. And I already have topics that I'm seeding that are about like arts and entertainment, pop culture, and just interesting things to figure out. I'm hoping that there will be an international presence eventually too. I put up a polyglot channel to speak languages other than English, and I'm hoping that people will connect on there. What do I want to teach the world? Right now, I want to teach them how to be demisexual, which means like how to make the point of your relationship something other than sex. Like, I had a great relationship. I got to the point of marriage and then it broke down because of troubles pursuing income. I got an art degree and it took a whole year to get a job. And then I got a cafeteria job. And somehow I don't regret that. That was a good half decade of growth. I really love all the people I worked with. And I think I grew as a person by being in a fast-paced, deadline-oriented environment. And there's still that drive to teach people. And there's still that drive to contribute assets to a child's well-being. And at this point, I don't know. But I mentioned demisexuality because I want to be clear that this is not a dating video. I'm not offering a sexual relationship to anyone. No one has consent to touch me. Although generally, if you ask for a hug, those are awesome. And I did set up like places to save money for a child, for therapy, for like money to get to places. And it just comes down to increasing income. What I do is I write and I record. I have some art and music skills. What I've actually been paid to do is write half-hour scripts and act, other than the day job, which is GIS from AmeriCorps, and I should be training to be more employable there too. Big data is totally a fascination, and I have a past with some programming skills, but have never been totally hireable in programming. But GIS software is kind of like where the programming and the art come together, and that was super fun. It gets confusing sometimes. There are like so many things to do, and it's hard to choose which ones to focus on. And the creative children are really slow. If I don't, I say creative children, like there are two plans. There's the plan for biological children, and then there's the plan for creative children. And I think there are no guarantees in this life as far as biological children go. I probably don't look so good as a dating candidate, and I'm not asking for it because I think, like, I was good in a relationship with the relationship I had that worked, but what dead-ended it was my inability to contribute assets to an household. Fears that I'm not employable, that an art degree is not what anyone wants, and at jobs that don't need a degree, they just want you to be a warm body and show up. And I progressively can't carry things. I progressively can't be fast person on the spot, like in a fast-paced environment, to move physical objects. And I do best in communication jobs or data jobs. And it's going to take a while to get hireable at GIS too, I think. Although I proved in AmeriCorps that I could update a map. I would also like to put a call out. I asked my gay friends if they might want eggs at some point, and they're mostly not in that place and don't want a parent or don't want my eggs. And I found that rather disappointing if it was about my disability, because my disability is recessive linked. It's it's not going to be passed to my children unless the other parent has the recessive gene also. But so that's my cry for help at this point. I made a shirt. I very much would like more gay friends and to be in a parenting clique. And that's the end of the distress call. It will be a demisexual one. There is no sex on offer. I just want needles, surgery, hormones, totally willing to do that. To have a child to commit time and resources to, and listen to and support their goals. And until then, I work on my creative children with my short films and some art and music occasionally. And I hope this becomes a fun space to talk about pop culture and not a total narcissist shrine, but I had to put out my elevator speech on the first one. Okay, let's get to gaming.